everyone, and welcome into a special weekend edition of the JMac podcast as we answer a question. It's not my question. I've actually seen this as a headline around the country from news outlets, and I've seen it from people posting on social media. The question is, could it be a good thing that President Trump got the virus? And the thinking behind this is that people are wondering if maybe the president will approach things differently now that he has experienced this himself, and now that an event that he held, or different events that he held, were actually events that spread the virus. I think it's a legitimate question, and I want to answer that question, and I want your feedback. Since we are doing this live on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, I can see your comments. So please share your comments with me. And I want to also give you an update on the latest information that we have about the president's health and the health of other people who have contacted the virus since this happened. This is from Rob. Rob says, yes, it could be a good thing. He could hunker down in his bunker like Sleepy Joe and be good to go. Well, he's not really hunkering down so much. In fact, he released a video just a little while ago talking about his experience. I want to go back to the beginning, though, and kind of share the story of what has happened since the major announcement. And I'll continue to take your comments. And then I'll answer the question, could this be a good thing that President Trump got the virus? And also, people are suggesting that really President Trump doesn't have the virus, that he just wanted to get out of the next debate. I'll also answer that question as well. But first of all, Screaming Banner headline, were you surprised when you heard it? I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised because of how the president has been carrying himself. It almost seemed inevitable that he was going to get the virus or people close to him.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer live from New York. President Trump just tweeted moments ago that he and the First Lady have tested positive for the coronavirus. It follows news that top aide Hope Hicks, who traveled with the president multiple times this week, had tested positive. This includes aboard Marine One, the presidential helicopter, and on Air Force One to a rally in Minnesota Wednesday, and then aboard Air Force One to Tuesday night's first presidential debate in Cleveland. Hicks is said to be quarantining at home and is reportedly experiencing symptoms.
Now, at first, it seemed like everybody got this from Hope Hicks, who was on the plane. We now know, based upon who's gotten it since then, that it wasn't Hope Hicks who brought this to the president. In fact, there were several events where this obviously spread around, and you can make those conclusions and deductions based upon who's tested positive and when they interacted, and I'll show you some of that, and we'll talk about some of that. But first, an update on the president's health.
This is a CBS News special report. I'm Nora O'Donnell in Washington. President Trump is, quote, still not on a clear path to a full recovery as he undergoes aggressive and experimental treatment for coronavirus at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. A high-level source familiar with the president's health is warning the next 48 hours will be critical. He is not out of danger. Today, the president's doctor said he no longer has a fever and is doing very well, but there are still questions tonight about the severity of his illness. CBS's Paula Reed covers the White House for us. And Paula, what do we know about the president's condition at this hour?
Nora, a senior administration official says the president's vitals over the past 24 hours have been very concerning. And CBS News has learned that the president was given oxygen here at the White House before he was transported to Walter Reed. Today, his physician would not comment on whether daily tests show any indication of lung damage. Now, his doctor also suggested that the president was diagnosed before traveling to attend several campaign events on Wednesday. He later issued a letter, though, saying that he misspoke. So as the White House tries to reassure Americans and clear up details about the president's diagnosis and the timeline for when he tested positive, it appears that their efforts have only prompted confusion and more questions.
So hopefully the president is doing well. And I've seen both sides on the social media. people who are like, see, we told you so. Twitter has come out and said anybody who's wishing that the president dies on Twitter, they're going to stop that and not allow it. And I think it's outrageous and it shouldn't be supported. At the same time, if you want to point out some of the irony involved in him getting the virus, you're willing to do so. You're able to do so. And also, it is an important question. When was the president diagnosed? When did he start feeling symptoms? And did he continue to hold events and rallies after that time? That's an important question. But I do want you to hear from the president. He sent out a message today talking about what he's going through and how he's feeling and what the experience has been like so far. I thought it was heartfelt and sincere. So here's most of what he had to say.
I came here, wasn't feeling so well. I feel much better now. We're working hard to get me all the way back. I have to be back because we still have to make America great again. We've done an awfully good job of that, but we still have steps to go, and we have to finish that job. And I'll be back. I think I'll be back soon. And I look forward to finishing up the campaign the way it was started and the way we've been doing and the kind of numbers that we've been doing. We've been so proud of it. But this was something that happened, and it's happened to millions of people all over the world, and I'm fighting for them, not just in the U.S. I'm fighting for them all over the world. We're going to beat this coronavirus, or whatever you want to call it, and we're going to beat it soundly. So many things have happened. If you look at the therapeutics, which I'm taking right now, some of them, and others are coming out soon that are looking like, frankly, they're miracles. If you want to know the truth, they're miracles. People criticize me when I say that, but we have things happening that look like they're miracles coming down from God. So I just want to tell you that I'm starting to feel good. You don't know over the next period of a few days. I guess that's the real test. So we'll be seeing what happens over those next couple of days. I just want to be so thankful for all of the support I've seen, whether it's on television or reading about it. I most of all appreciate what's been said by the American people, by almost a bipartisan consensus of American people. It's a beautiful thing to see, and I very much appreciate it, and I won't forget it. I promise you that. I also want to thank the leaders of the world for their condolences, and they know what we're going through. They know what, as your leader, what I have to go through. But I had no choice because I just didn't want to stay in the White House. I was given that alternative. Stay in the White House, lock yourself in, don't ever leave, don't even go to the Oval Office. Just stay upstairs and enjoy it. Don't see people, don't talk to people, and just be done with it. And I can't do that. I had to be out front, and this is America. This is the United States. This is the greatest country in the world. This is the most powerful country in the world. I can't be locked up in a room upstairs and totally safe and just say, hey, whatever happens, happens. I can't do that. We have to confront problems. As a leader, you have to confront problems. There's never been a great leader that would have done that. So that's where it is. I'm doing well. I want to thank everybody. Our First Lady is doing very well. Melania asked me to say something as to the respect that she has for our country, the love that she has for our country. And we're both doing well. Melania is really handling it very nicely. As you've probably read, she's slightly younger than me, just a little tiny bit. And therefore, just we know the disease, we know the situation with age versus younger people. And Melania is handling it statistically like it's supposed to be handled. And that makes me very happy, and it makes the country very happy. But I'm also doing well, and I think we're going to have a very good result. Again, over the next few days, we're going to probably know for sure. So I just want to thank everybody out there, everybody, all over the world, specifically the United States. The outpouring of love has been incredible. I will never forget. Thank you very much.
I'm glad to see him express gratitude, and it appears that he's taking this seriously. He's not downplaying it. But back to the question, could it be a good thing that he got the virus? Again, the hope is that people are going to say, or that he's going to say, well, now that I've experienced it, I'm going to change my tune and I want everybody to wear a mask, and I'm going to wear a mask wherever I go. And the people around me are going to wear a mask. And at our events, we're going to social distance and all of those things. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think he's going to change his tune? This is from Charity. See if I can get all of this on the screen. Yeah, I think so. Charity says, well, since he'll never know what it's like to lose your job, can't pay his mortgage, and never had a problem getting toilet paper, I hope it's bad enough to wake him up, because I have no doubt he's going to say it was huge. I fought in a tremendous way. I'll put that back up. And it wasn't that bad. The doctors say they've never in history seen a president do so well in such a short amount of time. So it could be a good thing. Let me just answer the question, what I believe. I believe there is no way in creation that the president is going to change his tune on the coronavirus, even if he has to face a major bout with the virus. Doing so would be an admission that he was wrong all of these months, that his administration messed up, and messed up big time. I don't see a chance, a snowball's chance, and you know where, that he changes his tune at all in any way, shape, or form. I may be wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that this is a learning lesson. I hope that they realize and understand that the White House and the president not only should have been following all of the recommendations that they've put out and the CDC has been put out, but that they should be following to them even to a greater extent. Why? Because you're protecting the leader of the free world. So not only should you have been following the baseline, you should have been up here when it comes to protecting the White House from this virus. And my friends, that just didn't happen. And when this president, if he comes out and says he's learned a lesson before the election, are you kidding me? Do you really think that's going to happen? I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. There's just no way it's going to happen. Now, I want the president to recover quickly. I want the campaign to go forward. I want the debates to happen. And I want the country to decide who their next president is going to be. I don't want the virus to decide it. I don't want to see anybody die from this. That would just be tragic. But I will tell you that this has affected a lot of other people. And it is out of recklessness that this happened. There's absolutely no reason why this should have happened. And if this isn't ultimately a wake-up call to everybody when it comes to the virus, then nothing will be. Nothing will be. What do I mean by that? Well, let's talk about some of the other people who have come down with the virus as a result of the White House not taking this seriously and not following their own guidelines.
Former Governor Chris Christie is now in the hospital after testing positive for COVID-19. Christie was in close contact with the president while helping him prepare for the latest debate. News 4's Anjali Hemphill continues our team coverage live in New Jersey, where Chris Christie lives. Anjali?
Yeah, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie does live here in Mendham, and we just got word in the last couple of minutes that he has now been hospitalized after testing positive for COVID-19. In a tweet Saturday morning, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie announced he has tested positive for COVID-19, one day after President Trump did the same. Christie is among a group of senior Trump campaign staffers who were tested Friday after the president's positive diagnosis. The former New Jersey governor was with the president on Sunday and Monday when he helped prepare him for the first presidential debate. After President Trump's positive test results, Christie spoke to ABC News.
Governor, you were part of the debate prep. What can you tell us about the bubble? Were folks wearing masks? Were you wearing a mask? Was Rudy Giuliani wearing a mask when you were working with the president and others in the room?
No one was wearing masks in the room when we were prepping the president during that period of time. The group was about 5 or 6 people in total.
Christie is now one of several members of the president's inner circle who have tested positive for the virus, including former White House counselor Kellyanne Conway, Trump's campaign manager Bill Stipin, and Trump's close aide Hope Hicks. Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin has also tested positive for COVID-19 after being exposed to someone with the virus earlier this week, according to his spokesman, which makes him the third GOP senator to test positive, including Senators Mike Lee of Utah and Tom Tillis of North Carolina, who both tested positive on Friday, days after attending a White House event where President Trump nominated Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. Many attendees were seen not wearing masks or observing social distancing protocols.
This is from Kathy. She says, I did notice that the president didn't call it the China virus. That's true. And in fact, when he first tweeted out that he caught the virus, he called it COVID-19. And I haven't heard him call it the China virus since. I don't know if that helps or hurts the cause at all. But that's where it is. I want to show you something. Now, if you're listening via the podcast, I'm going to have to describe this for you, or you can go on Facebook and you can watch the video. But I want to show you the Supreme Court event. You heard that news reporter talking about how not everybody was wearing a mask and not everybody was socially distant. Well, let me just clarify that a little bit. Nobody was socially distant. Nobody. And very few were wearing masks. And many of the people who were at this event have now tested positive for this virus. Now, you may love this president. You may think he's great for the economy. You may love his Supreme Court justices. You may love all of the deregulation. I agree with all of that. You know that I've come out in support of that. But none of that means that he has handled the COVID-19 virus in any proper way whatsoever. And this event, for me, was the height of recklessness. It was unbelievable. And to think that somebody in that environment probably had COVID-19. And I just watch the video and you show me. Go back and read the CDC guidelines. Go back and read what the White House has said about what should be happening. And realize that this is the seat of our government. This has got Mike Pence. This has got President Trump. This has got Mike Lee. This has got most of the Republican leadership all in the same place. And to think that the virus is there hiding and spreading and that they did nothing, they took no precautions whatsoever. It's remarkable. Look, watch this video. You can hear the music in the background that was playing. There's Chris Christie. He is probably 6 to 8 inches away from two other people who he's talking to directly. As you heard from the news report, Chris Christie is now in the hospital, tested positive. There's Kellyanne Conway and Barr. They're talking to each other, shaking hands with other people. Neither of them has a mask on. There's Mike Pence and his wife. They're walking off. If you look at the seats are about 1 to 3 inches apart. No attempt at social distancing whatsoever. You can see members of the military wearing face protection, but just about everybody else is not. There's Mike Lee. He's holding a mask. He's not wearing one. Oh, and Mike Lee, he's going to go and hug two people. Their cheeks are almost touching. Again, nobody is wearing a mask in that picture except for members of the military. My friends, I don't care how much you like the president. I don't care how much you like this administration. Can you please make an argument to me that this was appropriate? That this wasn't incredibly reckless? And who didn't know that Corona was going to sneak its way in? Honestly, it's just the way that this has been handled. And my core belief is it's been handled this way because of a fear that it would somehow change the election. When the reality is this, that if the president had handled this properly and with great leadership and guidance, it would have helped his reelection, not hurt it. But somewhere early on, there was a calculation made that somehow if we wear masks, somehow if we socially distance, somehow if we do those things, that's going to hurt us in the election. And it's because COVID has shut down the economy, and the president's number one thing he wants to run on is the economy. The message should have been simple. It should have been easy. And that is, we've got to shut down aggressively and for long enough that we can reopen this government and get the economy back. But because we didn't, the states are surging in coronavirus. The state of Utah back up over 1,000 cases a day. Schools are shutting down we reopened. All of the things that scientists said were going to happen has happened. And all of the things that the president said would happen have not happened. None of them when it comes to the COVID-19 virus. And now the leader of the free world is in the hospital, and hopefully he will be okay. But he is in the high-risk group. My friends, I don't know how else to look at this. It's really shocking. And it happened for political reasons. And let's all hope and pray that nobody dies because political decisions were made over science. Science has been right about this the entire time. We can turn a blind eye to it, but that doesn't change the reality. That doesn't change the facts. This is not a hoax. Those of you who believe this is some grand conspiracy theory, in order for that to be true, then that would mean every country on the planet would have to be involved in the hoax. Israel, India, China, Spain, Italy, they would all have to be involved in the hoax. And in every single country where they've denied the science and tried to follow the politics or reopen too soon, guess what has happened? It's come roaring back. So when it's all said and done, what progress have we made since COVID found its way into this country? Have we really made any progress? No. Hopefully we've made progress on a vaccine. But that it's too early to tell. Are we going to learn our lesson? That's what I want to know. Not whether or not the president is going to learn his lesson. I want to know if we, the people, are going to learn our lesson. This is Orion. He says, just as Trump is hoping the virus goes away, I'm hoping he just goes away on January 17th. Well, that's what election's for. I don't want a virus to decide who the leader of the free world is going to be, unless that is based upon how the leader of the free world handled the virus. And in my opinion, he gets a big, fat, whopping F on the virus. I give him high marks in a lot of other ways. But he has botched this to a point that is, and this is the culmination of that. Hopefully that is the wake-up call that everybody gets. I hope, but it's not going to happen. People are going to find a way to justify it away. It's all conspiracy. The president, if he comes out of this shining, if he fights it off easily, is going to continue to downplay. So frustrating. So frustrating. Hey, with that, please take a minute and support this podcast and this broadcast. You can do so by taking your camera and scanning the QR code that you see on the screen, or go to the subscription and become a monthly subscriber or make a one-time donation. My plan is to bring these to you every single day, but I've got to be able to not do other things, not do other jobs, because this takes time to put together and for me to do all the research and those types of things. So if you can help me out, we can have more of these podcasts and more of these great discussions. Thank you for your comments. Please like this video, share it, comment, let other people see it so that they can find out what's really going on, and maybe be challenged themselves. With that, I'll let you get back to your weekend, and hopefully we get good news about the president's health. Hopefully Chris Christie's okay, Senator Mike Lee. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of you. We want you to return to good health with greater knowledge and information about how to handle this, and hopefully we can get on a better course very soon.